The recent trend of insecurity in Oyo State is becoming worrisome, and the recent killing in Igongon by alleged customs officers again is drawing the attention of many to this security situation in the state. The state governor, who had taken many steps as part of strategies to ensure adequate security, frowns at unwarranted invasions. The security situation across the state is the focus of our discussion on Panorama today, reaching you live from the Ibadan Network Center. I am Lanredu. Thanks for joining us. Despite the daunting challenges, President Muhammadu Buhari says the federal government will not shrink its responsibility of expanding access to quality education at all levels and for all citizens. Speaking at the Global Education Summit in London, the British capital, the president said Nigerians are also acutely aware of the priority to education. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has details.
The summit, co-hosted by the British Prime Minister Boris Johnson and Kenyan leader Uhuru Kenyatta, provides a key moment for the global community to come together and support quality teaching and learning for all children in line with the 5-year strategic plan of the Global Partnership for Education. The goal is to raise at least $5 billion towards supporting efforts at transforming education systems so that access and learning outcomes fit for the 21st century can be accelerated.
Some child somewhere may well be the one who goes on to develop the next vaccine to deal with cancer or whatever other problem afflicts humanity. Some kid around the world will, I have absolutely no doubt, have their lives transformed, and many, many kids will have their lives transformed by these funds.
Let us remember that even though money is necessary for transforming our education systems, it alone is not sufficient. A deliberate, committed drive towards ensuring that each dollar investment impacts quality and holistic education for our children is equally as vital.
Speaking during a panel session with other African leaders, President Muhammadu Buhari said neither the government nor parents in Nigeria joke with education.
Being over 200 million and the size of the country itself is a major challenge for any administration.
Absolutely.
But lately people have realized that education is a starting point.
Yes.
Anybody who missed the opportunity of receiving education, he has missed everything. Hence, the fight for opportunities for education is very, very severe.
At the summit, Nigeria lends its voice to the Raise Your Hand campaign on closing the financial gap for education, described as the heart of all national development efforts.
I assure you that Nigerians are acutely aware of the priorities of education. And they are going all out to make sure that their children and their wards get the opportunity to have the best of education.
Other members of the panel, including the presidents of Ghana, Togo, Kenya, and Malawi, spoke on the peculiarities of the education sector in their respective countries. President Muhammadu Buhari had earlier committed to raising the budget for education by 50% over the next 2 years and up to 100% by the year 2025. From London, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Nigeria and the United Kingdom have resolved to deepen and expand the highly beneficial relations between the two countries, especially in the areas described as green trade. This was when the British Prime Minister Boris Johnson played host to President Muhammadu Buhari on the sidelines of the Global Education Summit in London. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports on engagements of the Nigerian leader.
between the two leaders, President Muhammadu Buhari talked about measures taken so far towards enhancing industrialization so that Nigeria can be more self-sufficient in critical areas of need. Stable power supply, he believes, is necessary towards achieving the objectives, especially in the area of solar energy.
The British feel that they have a comparative advantage. I mean, not that they have more sun, but in terms of the technology for solar panels. And they are a bit concerned about the tariffs on that, and that is something that the two countries can look at. They all both agreed that there was really an area to increase the level of trade between the two countries.
Discussions also centered on security, with President Buhari outlining the various challenges confronting Nigeria and the support being rendered by the UK government towards finding lasting solutions, and called for sustenance.
And they both agreed, actually, that in those kinds of situations, apart from the direct confrontation of terrorism, but that also allowing the courts, to play their role, an independent role in addressing issues of those involved in terrorism and terrorist-related activities. So then they talked about the Commonwealth and how to, strengthen the Commonwealth going forward to make it responsive to the needs and aspirations of the members.
The Nigerian leader also held bilateral talks with the Commonwealth Secretary General, Patricia Scotland, who promised to support his genuine efforts at fighting corruption in the country.
And she recognized Mr. President as a champion of anti-corruption, that there's also a tool that is now available, developed by the Commonwealth, to sort of, monitor and evaluate the progress that countries are making, private sector and public sector, in the field of, corruption and anti-corruption, and that those will be, made available to Nigeria. And Mr. President, welcomed that, and talked about measures that he has also taken to reinvigorate and strengthen the security sector of the country, architecture in Nigeria, and welcomed, whatever tools, additional tools that the Commonwealth can provide.
The Commonwealth, Baroness Scotland, also explained developed other tools to be made available to the Nigerian government towards enhancing police and criminal justice reforms, governance, trade, as well as encountering violent extremism. President Muhammadu Buhari also met separately with the Nigerian leader Muhammad Bazoum and the Kenyan leader Uhuru Kenyatta. Details of their discussions were, however, not made public. From London, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
The Accountant General of the Federation, Ahmed Idris, FCNA, has reaffirmed the commitment of the federal government to prompt payment of salaries and general welfare of workers. Idris, while interacting with the leadership of the National Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria, who were on courtesy visit to him in Abuja, noted that the government is not oblivious of the importance of a well-motivated workforce. He emphasized that the federal government will continue to work assiduously to eliminate issues that may occur in the system so that prompt payment of workers' salaries will be sustained. The Accountant General of the Federation congratulated the executive of the National Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria on their victory at the elections and prayed that their tenure will be devoid of rancor and unnecessary conflicts. The Accountant General applauded the management of the Federal Treasury for the priority given to staff welfare and safety as well as infrastructural developments, and expressed the readiness of the National Association of Civil Senior Servants of Nigeria to work with the Accountant General of the Federation. The Nigerian Center for Disease Control has confirmed 558 new cases of COVID-19 in Nigeria as at 29th of July 2021. Lagos tops the chart with 376 new cases, Oyo 33, Akwa Ibom 26, FCT 22, Imo 15, Bayelsa and Ekiti recorded 13 cases each. Others are Kano with 12 cases, Ogun 11, Delta 9, Jigawa 6, Rivers and Zamfara 4, Edo 2, while Ebonyi recorded 1 case. To date, 178,821 COVID-19 cases have been recorded in the country. 164,930 have been successfully treated and discharged, while the death stands at 2,141. 105 kidnapped victims have been rescued, while 42 bandits and terrorists eliminated in different joint operations of the armed forces across the country. The acting director, Defense Media Operations, Brigadier General Bernard Onyeku, announced these at a news conference in Abuja. Defense correspondent Ismaila Musa has details.
Another round of periodic briefings by the Defense Headquarters and the strike recorded from 16 to 28 July 2021 formed the content. 105 kidnapped victims by Boko Haram and bandits rescued by troops was a major victory during the period under review.
The operation led to the neutralization of about 16 Boko Haram and Islamic West African province terrorists, as well as 29 of them were arrested, while 40 civilians who were kidnapped were rescued. 11 Boko Haram terrorists and their families, comprising of 5 female adults and 12 children, were arrested at FOB Mayanti.
Criminals vandalizing railway infrastructure cooling off in the hands of troops of Operation Safe Haven in Plateau.
Bandits and 5 armed robbers were neutralized and several others escaped with gunshot wounds, while 12 others were arrested. A total of 12 assaulted rifles, a truckload of stolen railway tracks and sleepers were also recovered in the course of these operations. A total of 17 kidnapped victims were also rescued from their abductors.
Troops of Operation Delta Safe in the coastal region have also upscaled the fight against the nation's economic saboteurs in the area, and there is no going back on the onslaught, the Defense Headquarters assured. From the Defense Headquarters in Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Sequel to the receipts of allegations and indictments processed from the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, against one of the personnel of the police force, DSP Abba Kyari, the Inspector General of Police, Usman Akali Baba, has ordered an internal review of the allegation. The Nigeria Police Force reaffirms its commitment to the pursuit of justice and the strengthening of its professional relationship with the FBI and other international partners. Further development on this case will be communicated to the members of the public accordingly. You are still watching Panorama on the network service of NTA. More reports after this break. Stay with us.
The vaccine offers hope for a safe country free of coronavirus. I urge all state governments, traditional and religious leaders to take the lead in the mobilization effort within their environment and spheres of influence. I similarly urge all eligible Nigerians to present themselves and be vaccinated in accordance with the order of priority already mapped out at the various authorized designated centers only.
You're welcome back. Moving ahead, residents of Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, have been urged to be security conscious at all times and join hands with security operatives to fight crime and criminality in the state. Stakeholders on security gave the charge while addressing the security situation in the state. Correspondent Rofiha Animation Badmus has details.
In recent times, security challenges facing the state, just as in other parts of the country, in the form of armed robbery, kidnapping, and killings, are creating fears and tension among the citizens. Available data show that over 50 residents of Oyo State have been kidnapped at various locations within the state between the month of March and May 2021, with no less than 15 of them abducted at gunpoint.
The government needs to take urgent action now in mopping weapons from among the civil populace. There are so many, guns now around that, people can do anything, terrorizing other people. So the government should take urgent actions. But above all, our people should continue to live in love. They should show love to their neighbors.
The essence of governance is to provide adequate security for its people. Government at different levels must wake up. Security must be taken as priority. We've not done anything.
The community policing system is being developed. Everything like that. I believe we are up for something new.
And see what is going on all over the state right now, Kyogun and here and there. So I think the development is very important, that we should come together and discuss about how to improve in security aspect.
Although the state government is making efforts at arresting the spate of insecurity across the state, it is expected that all hands be on deck to fight security challenges to the barest minimum. In Ibadan, Rofia Animashan Badmos, NTA News.
Joining me in the studio is the Special Advisor to Oyo State Governor on Security Matters and former Commissioner of Police, Fatai Owosemi. Welcome to Panorama.
Good afternoon, and good afternoon, viewers.
To start with, let me ask you this. What is your assessment on security situation in Oyo State?
I'll repeat the same thing we've always said. When it comes to security, you don't talk of 100% mark. If you compare the situation in Oyo State with other states in the country, even within the Southwest, Oyo State still fare a little bit better. It is relatively calm in Oyo State, but we can say that it's also fluid, as in opportunistic crimes can come at any time that would probably, change the narrative. But Oyo State is relatively peaceful and calm.
Okay, then, to what extent is the state government addressing the security challenges in Oyo State?
At first, I have always, in interactions like this, tell the media that languages at times when we use them to present a picture of helplessness, it doesn't really help when you are reporting security. I want to say it here clearly that huge investment has been made into bridging the gaps in security infrastructure in Oyo State by the state, by the governor. Is it about the issue of mobility, where a whole lot number of vehicles had been deployed, backed with a communication system, investment in getting a three-digit number which everyone can call if there is any threat. That's the 615 thing. The state has also invested on an application which we call Oyo State Crime Alert. Even with regards to the school thing, I want to say this state is probably one of the few states, if not the only state for now, that are deployed, cameras coverage of vulnerable schools, where if anything happens, you can quickly, press a button that will alarm the security agencies. And, welfare is also important. The state has been able to, invest in the welfare of the officers and men of the different security agencies in the state, and of course, try to strengthen the synergy among them. And we've looked further to say that the security, we have projected, we've been futuristic, we've projected to the future. That when you talk security now, it's a mixture of the whole thing. And that is why the state has come up with the integrated security concept. We've recognized the fact that as we move on, security is local, and it's a perception thing. So the state has come up with that integrated security concept where the non-state actors are put together under what we call the voluntary policing sector to synergize with the state actors, the conventional security people. And that is the future of security anywhere and globally, that you must bring in the locals, the grassroots, to support the conventional
Now,
security.
talking about grassroots policing, Igongong community has been in the news for quite some time. What is the recent update on the killings in Igongong community?
So that's another narrative that seems to be manipulative. When you say that it has been in the news, it's as if on a daily basis killings take place in Igongong. We had those challenges, those two serious challenges that are taking place, and that is why we are, strengthening the partnership between the local actors and the conventional system. It's been peaceful now, and you see, with security, now that things are not happening, people are not coming out. The only thing for the media and for the people is to continue to repeat as if this thing is fresh. So, and that is what security is all about.
Before I let you go, let me ask you this. What's the attitude of residents of Oyo State to this security situation?
Everybody seems to be worried. It's not peculiar to Oyo State. The whole country globally. It's just for everyone to know that they have a responsibility to their safety and security. Yes, the government has the primary responsibility, but we have a secondary responsibility. Where things work, people make the institutions to work. People respect and they know that they have a civic obligation.
Thank you very much.
So if you face any problem in Oyo State, even if you want support from Oyo State, if you see something, as we say something, call 615, download the Oyo State Security.
Thank you very much. Because of our time, that's all we'll be able to take. I've been speaking with the Special Advisor to Oyo State Governor on Security Matters, and that is the former Commissioner of Police, Fatai Oshini. Thank you very much for coming. Moving ahead, 28 new wigs who excelled at the 2021 bar final examinations are rewards for meritorious performance. Olabode reports that this was at the grand finale of the call to bar ceremony in Abuja.
It was stressful. It was very stressful. It was mentally draining. I think it was the most difficult academic activity I had to do all my life.
That is Barrister Fatimat Alada expressing her joy on winning 16 prizes as the most outstanding law graduate at this year's event. She is one of the 28 new wigs who won awards for exceptional performance during their studies at Nigerian Law School.
It is something that we are going to dwell more into public interest lawyering, because that's my area of interest.
It's been my dream, and finally it's happening.
Chairman Body of Benches, Justice Bodiwo's Vival, reiterated his earlier caution for the new wigs to toe the path of good conduct.
As you celebrate, I urge you to be responsible and avoid actions inimical to the ethics of the profession.
Parents of the new wigs were ecstatic about their children's graduation.
If there is anything we expect from the two of them, we expect them to carry on fighting for justice. They now have the weapon.
One of the tasks placed before the new wigs is to bring positive changes to the justice system in Abuja, Olabodarewa. NTA News.
The federal government says its position on the regulation of the social media is furtherance of national interest and in line with global best practices. This came to the fore at the opening of the two-day 2021 edition of the annual Roundtable on Cultural Orientation, ATCO, by the National Institute for Cultural Orientation, NICON, in Ilorin. Damilola Balogun-Elebiyo reports that the theme for the meeting is culture, media, and national cohesion in Nigeria.
The phenomenon of fake news and hate speeches, which has dominated the social media space, has no doubt taken its toll on the nation's peace, security, and national cohesion. They appealed to the media to shun sensational reporting and eschew fake news, stressing that sensitive reportage would help prevent or de-escalate conflict as the case may be. The speakers noted that neglect of cherished cultural values have contributed largely to the mirage of challenges bedeviling the nation today, noting that urgent and concerted efforts are therefore required for cultural reconstruction and reawakening to achieve the much desired socio-political and economic progress.
The neglect of culture and the breakdown of our cherished cultural values have contributed largely to the myriad of challenges bedeviling our nation today.
The replacement of our cherished cultural values of honesty, hard work, good neighborness, get-rich-quick syndrome, ethnic and religious bias have been the bane of our national cohesion and development.
There were goodwill messages by some stakeholders in the media and cultural sectors. Highlight of the event was a cultural display by the troupe of the Kwara State Arts and Culture. Damilola Balogun Elebio, NTA News.
That has been Panorama from Ibadan Zonal Center of the NTA. Remember, be a star, connect with NTA, and stand against rape and rapists. Bye for now.
The vaccine offers hope for a safe country free of coronavirus.